Hey Gemini, this is your February 2020 Love and Intimacy reading. This is Lisa Salvatore of lisasalvatore.com. This will be a reading for the general collective, so it may not resonate with everybody watching, but hopefully you will get something from it. Also, if you're a Gemini Moon, Gemini Rising, or Gemini Venus, you can listen to this as well. This is not just for Gemini Sun. If you are Gemini Sun and you do know your other placements, I would suggest listening to the rest of them because you may find that you resonate more with some of your other placements depending on what's in your chart and what's going on at the sky at the moment. All right, so let's go ahead and just get started. This is going to be general love and intimacy readings for Gemini, Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Venus, and Gemini Rising. Okay. I feel like a lot of Geminis have been taking better care of their bodies, and so because of that, your relationships seem like they're a little bit more smooth, flowing right now. Like not as, you don't feel like there's not too much tension, which is good. Some sparks present, but those might actually be good sparks. So let's see where this reading goes for you, Gemini. I feel like there's a lot of affection here and calming down and spending time with the people closest to you, most intimate, heart-to-heart connections, which don't always have to be romantic, but we'll see where what the cards want to tell us here with Spirit. We'll see what we get. Whoops. Moving on to smoother waters. It's good. Okay, Gemini. Okay, so random, but I'm getting something about Florida. So I don't know if that's for someone specific that's watching this, that's either in Florida right now or about to go to Florida, but there's something about being in Florida near the water and having a really good couple of days. Lots of reflection going on with Gemini. All right, so I'm getting a couple of different things here for Gemini. So first of all, I feel like a lot of you are dating right now, and there's options. I feel a lot of masculine energy, so especially for the Geminis that are dating, masculine energy, there's a lot of options. It feels like choosing, between the head and the heart, going where, there's a lot of passion and feelings. It seems like there could even be like 2 or 3 options here. All good in different ways, but it's like trying to figure out which one is more in alignment with where you're at right now and where you're going with your life. So that can be always a little challenging. So perhaps that Florida message was for somebody that's taking a break and reflecting on things of the past and just kind of, fence sitting and not really, it doesn't feel like there's a rush or pressure to define any kind of relationship at the moment. If you're dating, if you're single, if you're dating, this seems more just like weighing out all options, and all options seem like they're pretty decent. It's just more of like what you want at this point in your life. So I feel like you've been thinking about that a lot. It's really like, you're feeling more balanced within yourself and more confident and ending old storylines and old cycles about like, past relationships and things that didn't work out. So now you're kind of looking towards the future and trying to see what it is that you want. I feel like some of you are going back to school. I'm getting something here about like going back to school to further your education, and kind of putting dating and relationships on the back burner for a little while. So that's also coming up. So for someone or someone's watching, that's here too. So yeah, there could also just be this element of like, all right, I'm having some fun. I'm feeling out my options, but I'm not taking it so serious because I have other things I want to do, other goals I want to accomplish. And one of them feels like school or certification. So for some watching, I get that as well. But definitely there's options on the table. And all of them feel pretty decent. I'm not seeing anything like to warn you about it. It all feels like it's pretty decent. It's just more about like what's in alignment for you, Gemini, and what you want and your values and belief systems that you're holding dear to you. And also a lot of you are worried about, financial, like what your financial future looks like. For those that are involved or married or, in a romantic partnership, I feel like finances is coming up in this month for you with your partner, to look at, to talk about. It's like time to put everything on the table. You might be merging finances more, or somebody's making more money and now you have to figure out like what you're going to do with it, how you're going to distribute it. So there's some like non-sexy conversations coming up for some about money, for those that are partnered, living together, you know, married, whatever. There's also something here about money and finances and having to have those conversations, which could have been avoided in the past, but it is important that you discuss this month if you need to, because it does feel like, you know, there might have been a little bit of overspending in the recent past, or just like a sense of not having enough, and you know, needing to really talk about it with your partner. That'll actually help the relationship. So I do feel like for February for Gemini, like these overall feels pretty positive, and controlled, I would say. Like I don't feel like a whole lot of chaos or upset here. It feels like things are cruising along. I'm also picking up that some of you weren't sure if you wanted to have children, and all of a sudden you're like, you're changing your mind and you're really thinking about your options. Like, you know, do I really want to do this? Can I do this? Can we do this? You know, some of you may not even be married, which is totally fine, but that could be something that you're just thinking a lot about. Like, can I do this? Should I do this? I'm really feeling this. My time is, you know, valuable. This might be something that I want. And I feel like for whoever that pertains to, this is almost like you never thought that way before, and now all of a sudden you're like really thinking that this might be something that you want to do. So weigh out your options and see what you have available to you. That could also be tying back to when having a choice with partners, like who's the best partner to have a child with, right? A lot of you are reconnecting with somebody from your past, I feel, as well. That was like a friendship that could potentially be romantic right now, could turn romantic. You've both grown and changed and had like a different, you know, you've gone through different relationships. One or both of you may even be may have been married before, and you know what you won't tolerate anymore. So now you're coming back together with this person, and you could be having a baby with this person. So there's a lot about the past here too. This is really sweet. It has like a sweet feeling. And for some of you, it might be that you're with someone else, dating someone else, and then somebody from the past comes back in and you're like, oh, wait a minute, this really could be something here. So just do things the right way. You know, if you're feeling like you want to leave one relationship to go into another, just do it the right way. Don't try not to hurt anybody in the process here. Feeling conflicted about, yeah, I get this big overall like theme of children, like being conflicted about. I feel like this pertains to the feminine energy, because it feels like literal the person that would be carrying the child. So this is like, my career came first, you know, I didn't think I wanted children. The past 5 years or so I've been saying no, but now I'm like, I have this clarity, or I'm with this person, or could be with this person where I could have this baby, and now I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I might want this. So yeah, there's an element of that here as well. So again, weigh out your options, you know, think about it, see what you've got to, you know, to do. If it's easy, natural for you to do so, get the information that's necessary to manifest your dreams, because I do feel here like there's a potential pregnancy. And again, pregnancy, by the way, could also literally be like a business, or, you know, any form of like fertility. But I do feel like in this particular reading, for whoever this is pertaining to, it's like literal pregnancy, like literal birth pregnancy. When I mentioned before about going back to school, I do feel like a counselor vibe, like a therapist or something like that. So somebody could be one who wants to further their education, and they're thinking about that. They're weighing out their options. A lot of options on the table for Gemini for the month of February. Weighing out all your options, feeling the love. Like this feels nice. Like this feels like you're gonna have a good time. You know, figuring it all out. Like the big puzzle pieces are coming together, Gemini. All right, let's see. Let me get my Wisdom of the Oracle divination cards and see what else we've got here for you, Gemini, for the month of February. Yeah, and don't be afraid to have the financial conversations with the partner or the new partner or whatever might be holding you back from furthering the relationship financially. You may have some debt you're like embarrassed about. It could be school loans, but you need to tell the other person, because I do feel like you'll free you'll bring the relationship to the next level if you're honest. Or even if you have like gambling debt, if this is somebody with and they're like embarrassed about it, just tell the other person. You'd be surprised at how understanding they will actually be, and it will help the relationship to move to another level if it's been plateauing. Okay. All right, Gemini, for the month of February. Okay. Okay, so you have co-create, number 40, and you've got imagine with the moon, and peace. Let me take one more. Milk and honey. This is really sweet. This is really sweet, Gemini. This is like, you can have whatever it is that you desire. You have the magician here, co-create. I mean, this is all about like bringing things to fruition. Also, the magician here is the first card of the tarot deck, and it's all about new and manifestation and having all the tools to have it, what it is that you need. And Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury, which also rules over the magician. So I just wanted to mention that. So it's like a double confirmation. Yeah, you have what it takes to create the reality that you want. You've been dreaming a lot. You've been thinking a lot about what would bring you the most peace to your soul. For some of you, that could be going back to school. For some of you, that could be having a child, going back to a relationship from the past that makes you feel really good. I'm going to say that to get to the milk and honey, the sweetness of everything, Gemini, you really do need to follow your heart, and only you know where that will take you. And even if that means that you have to end something to go to something else, it doesn't feel very upsetting. So it's almost like maybe something's run its natural course for you. There could be a relationship in your life. And again, this is love and intimacy readings, but love and intimacy is not always romantic. It could be any heart-to-heart connection, but I will say for you, Gemini, this is romantic. So this is about like having that relationship, having that dynamic that you really want and crave, and it feels very peaceful, it feels very natural. So even if you have to end something to bring in the new, it does feel like it's a natural ending. So I want to stress that. It doesn't feel upsetting or chaotic, it just feels natural. And I also feel like you've come to that realization, like all of January, basically, you were really sitting with it. So it will be like, especially towards the end of January, I feel, like probably around the new moon, you may have just had like this epiphany where you realized that it was time to move forward. And then all of a sudden, because you realized that, the energy kind of opened up and this other person came back into your life or came into your life. This is how I feel it happened. It was almost like you thought about it. That, again, goes back to co-creating and imagining and manifesting with the magician. Thinking about it, energetically putting it out there like, okay, I think I need to move on from this relationship. It served its purpose for the both of us. Let's move on with our dignity intact. I don't feel any like third party influence here when you were thinking that. I feel like that other person came back in or came in after you kind of like mentally, because Gemini is an air sign, so it all goes through the intellect, right? So when you mentally put it out there that you were thinking about moving forward, then all of a sudden you had a new opportunity present itself to you, or something represented itself, or you saw something in a different light. Apply it whichever way feels right to you, as I'm saying it, but as you're feeling it. But again, it brings you a sense of peace. So this is not chaotic. Yeah, exchanging gifts. You're gonna have what you need, Gemini. Because you're doing it the right way, and there's not this sense of chaos attached to it, which is great. Not all readings are like that, right? So this doesn't feel chaotic. This could even be like around Valentine's Day, having like a really nice conversation with somebody, either that you're about to be involved with, or it could be the person you're ending things with. I don't know. It just feels very like calming and sweet and loving and happy. I'm going to be honest, I don't feel like passion necessarily. It feels more like sweet, like love, which is nice. It doesn't feel like super, like you're going to be a lot of talking, truth be told. A lot of talking to another person about your connection, about your relationship. Yeah, look at that, go the distance. Like, does it have what it takes to go the distance? Yes, it has what it takes to go the distance. That's kind of what this is saying to you, that you are on the right track, Gemini. Your intuition is like brilliantly aligned. Your soul is calling to you to do what it is that you want, that you've wanted to do. and you're manifesting your heart's desires right now, whatever that may be. So be careful, because especially feel like for Gemini, you're like a master manifester right now. So it's like anything you think about, you can literally like speak it into existence. So be conscious of that, right? Our words have power, our thoughts have power. So make sure you're keeping it clean and clear. It does feel like you are though. So this looks really nice. This feels good. I hope that you have a great month in February. Having those conversations that need to be had in a very peaceful and loving way. And if parting ways is necessary, you'll do so lovingly. And if, fixing or hashing out finances, like all of that's going to be, you're being encouraged to do it, Gemini. Speak your truth. It feels right for you. It feels good. And I'm very honest when I read, and if you go back and listen to other ones, they're not always like the card milk and honey. They're not always sweet, right? So this one is. So yeah, so I think for February, you've got it good, Gemini. Use this time wisely, and I will be back for you in March with another reading. If you like this content, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, as it really helps me to grow my channel. And also you'll be notified, more importantly, you'll be notified of any new readings and videos and things like that come out. Also, you can subscribe to my newsletter and receive a free downloaded guided meditation, a really quick one. So you could do that at lisasalvatore.com. All the links are below, and I'll be back next month. Take care, Gemini.